And so you working, hustling, budgeting, but something invisible is still holding you back. It's not inflation, it's not housing, it's student debt. And it's affecting your money more than you think. Right now, lawmakers are debating student loan forgiveness. Some want relief and some want tighter rules. Wall Street is even watching because this debate changes spending, credit, and economic growth. If you don't understand how politics influences your finances through student loans, you'll keep wondering why your wallet never expands. Now, stay with me because this is one of the biggest money stories you've been missing. Now, here's the context in plain language. In the U.S., student loan debt is massive, around $1.8 trillion, mostly federal. Payments that were once paused are back. Forgiveness plans slowed down in 2025, and more borrowers are falling behind, especially in the lower income communities. Now, today, you're going to learn why the forgiveness debate matters, how it affects everyday money, how markets are pricing it in, and what this means for people stuck with debt. Let's start with the second strongest point. Data shows when loan payments resume, consumer spending drops. For every $10,000 in student loan debt, borrowers cut spending, sometimes by $80 billion total annually, because payments eat up disposable income. Now that means less dining out, fewer big purchases, fewer vacations, delayed savings, postponed home buying. Your money habits shift because debt steals freedom and not just your cash. Now, markets care about consumer spending. When spending slows across households, GDP, gross domestic product, it slows down too. Retail stocks wobble, bond markets react, and investors reprice risk. Now, this is why student debt, seemingly personal, ripples through the economy. Now, that explains impact. But here's where politics bumps the whole story up another level. Student loan forgiveness has been a political battleground for years. Polling shows a majority supports relief, but there's sharp division by party and income levels. Programs that once offered forgiveness, like income-driven repayment, were paused and slowed in 2025 amid legal challenges. Now, here's how this plays out for money. Lawmakers argue over who gets relief. Markets watch because policy influences spending power. Now, Wall Street prices in consumer debt trends. Investors consider how debt affects the growth. If policymakers push more relief, some consumers spend more. Markets may see demand shift. Credit risk could change. If policymakers tighten rules, borrowers pay more. Spending slows further and economic growth could lag. Now, this isn't abstract. It's political decisions literally touching your money, your mortgage capability, your savings contribution, your spending confidence, your investment choices, and that makes markets watch closely. But it's not just theory. There's real data showing how debt stress changes your behavior. Recent report shows that student loans behind on payments are increasing, especially in lower income areas. That means more borrowers are struggling. Wages pinched and budgets are clearly tight. For everyday families, that means tight credit scores, harder approval for loans, increased financial stress, less emergency savings. Now, for the market, that means lower consumer spending, retail and services see slower demand, bonds and credit spreads may widen. And when people can't pay debt, economies feel it, and markets don't ignore fundamental stress signals. Now, let's zoom out. Because some economists say forgiveness might help the economy, but not solve everything. Studies suggest broad forgiveness could lift wealth for some borrowers and help debtors manage other debts better. But critics also argue broad forgiveness doesn't necessarily stimulate strong macro growth relative to its costs. That means that relief might help household balance sheets, but macroeconomic impact is debated. Markets weigh consumer cash flow versus government costs. Now, this is why you see investors, economists, political leaders, and everyday people all arguing about the same topic. It's a debate about money, power, who gets help, and who pays for it. Student debt isn't just a personal burden. It impacts consumer behavior, household spending, credit markets, retail sales, economic confidence. And when politics enters policy, markets price it in, households adjust, and the economy shifts. Now, understanding this gives you a deeper view of how policy affects your money beyond TikTok headlines or talking points. It's your boy Carl Anthony. See you tomorrow.